News just in, the General Council of the World Trade Organization has reappointed Nigeria's Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala for a second term as its Director General. Her new 4-year tenure is set to commence on September 1st next year. In a statement issued this Friday, Okonjo-Iweala thanked the WTO's 166 member nations for their continued trust and support. Now, the Chief of Defense Staff, General Mustafa Musa, has emphasized the need for active collaboration between the Nigerian armed forces, security agencies, and the citizens for greater effectiveness of the war against insurgency. General Musa made the statement on Thursday at the 6th Annual Security and Emergency Management Awards in Abuja. He highlighted that building lasting peace, security, and progress requires the involvement of all segments of society, achieved through shared expertise, resources, and influence. We now have Arise News analyst Dayo joining us to discuss this clarion call by the defense chiefs. Good to have you with us as always, Mr. Sobowale. So, how would you assess, the current partnership between, the military and, of course, civilians in fighting crime in regions, for example, like the North, so far?
Yes, it's a step. Well, actually, it's a step in the right direction by the army, but there's a clarion call that this chief of defense staff has always put on the table. But you see, there are difficulties in the realization of that partnership. And I will try painfully to show you why. You see, in some theater of insurgency, terrorism, kidnapping, there is divided loyalty against the Nigerian nation by vested interests. You get me? Vested socio-economic, ethno-religious interest. Let me start with an example. Not necessarily from the north now.
Yeah.
Niger Delta Liberation Movement. They destroyed some pipelines in the Warri area. And the Olu of Warri condemned them, but still went on to say that that does not distract from the fact that Chevron is not employing more of their people, even though they are getting the oil there. You see that double talk? The case of divided loyalty in the fight there. And it's not only in that part of the country. The Northwest, the Northeast, North Central. You see the Islamic nation or Islamic dominance of these areas create problems of loyalty, divided loyalty in terms of intelligence gathering. You see why occasions our Air Force have bombed our own people? If they were given correct information, they won't send drones to go and kill our own people.
Yeah.
So they have vested interest. And in some areas, especially in the North Central, there are people who should be farming who are in displaced people communities, and who say that since they left, the army has taken over, or the security people, they don't know even it is the real security people or marauders. Well, they say they want to go back. You see, those are conflicts of interest, divided interest. It makes intelligence almost dangerous to accept. And intelligence needs to be sifted so that you make the correct movement. So that's why I said what he's saying is on paper, in theory, what should be done. There should be synergy between the local community and security forces fighting insurgency on behalf of the Nigerian nation. But then the Nigerian people have to toe the line of loyalty to the Nigerian nation, or else we'll just be getting our soldiers killed extravagantly, unnecessarily. Let's leave it at that for now.
Well said, Mr. Sobowale. I really appreciate how you broke that down, talking about the divided loyalty based on ethno-religious influence. But I'm curious, based on that, are you comfortable exposing from your assessment the systemic political and economic interests that might strategically benefit from the sustained national insecurity?
I don't understand that question.
You're saying that there's divided loyalty. And I'm talking about, based on the vested interest that you mentioned, I'm saying those that have these vested interests from these, the sustained insecurity that we're seeing, how do they benefit from this from the sustained insecurity?
The benefit of divided loyalty is so that the army does not eliminate their people, where their own people are involved. That's why it is divided. Their loyalty should be to the Nigerian nation. There should not be conflict of interest. Yeah. But for some various socio-economic reasons, like the one I mentioned in Niger Delta, not only in Niger Delta, okay, even especially in Niger Delta, we have security contracts for people to look after the pipelines. And those people looking after the pipelines have become so powerful now. They haven't threatened the normal army and the navy. You get to know. These are issues that have to be resolved. How we resolve it is the problem of the Nigerian nation and the way the army manages. That is why this Chief of Defense Staff is hankering for that cooperation. And I hope it succeeds. I have just highlighted the obstacles on the way to achieving it, if you want to be realistic. Because you see, this war should have ended a long time ago. You get me? If not for this conflicting interest. Okay, Tinubu is now in France. It's because France has lost territories in ECOWAS.
We're just talking about that. We're just talking about that.
He's talking about defense contract.
Yeah.
You see, these AS nations, Mali and the two others, they are broken their defense contract with, and they are with France, and they are our neighbors. You saw when ECOWAS wanted to move against the Niger Republic, our brothers did not say, no, they are our cousins. Just don't do that. That's part of the conflict of interest, divided royalty. That's why I pity our army. You see, they are in harm's way by this sort of development. Because they have to be looking over their back to see that they are moving in the right direction and they have the right information. So indeed. That's it.
Indeed. We'll leave it at that. Mr. Dayo Sobowale, Arise News analyst, would like to thank you very much for your thoughts on this issue. It's always a pleasure to have you on board.